Very warm welcome everyone, it's Stephen here from the Peter Cowen Academy, Dubai. This month we're going to cover some of the short game basics. We're going to look specifically at chipping, and next month we're going to talk a little bit about the pitching. In order for us to do this, it's important we understand how the wrist action should be with both shots. So the wrist really moves in four ways. You've got a backward hinge and a forward hinge, and then you've got an upward cocking motion and a down cocking motion. The cocking motion is really used more so when we're pitching the ball for the higher flighted shots, and the hinging back and hinging forward motion is used more for our chipping shots, which we're going to focus on in today's article. When you're chipping the ball, it's more of a low running shot, so the club selection again is important. We can use anything from a 5-iron through to a pitching wedge, depending on how much rough grass we have to cover before our ball makes contact with the green. So I'm relatively close here today, so I'm probably going to use my 7-iron. If I was a little bit further back, I would probably go with something like maybe a pitching wedge or a 9-iron. The basic setup, again, which we've talked about in previous articles, we really want to get that shaft more into a vertical position. You see a lot of golfers that they get a little bit too far away from the ball. And then from here, it's very difficult just to let the club drop back on the ball. When I'm too far away, you can see I lift this club up. As I let it drop, it hits way behind it. Okay, so we want to get very close. The shaft's in a much more upright position, and you'll even feel that the heel is off the ground. And that won't make any difference. We don't have enough speed here in the swing for that to have an impact on the result. So a much more of an upright position. Now we're chipping, so we're going to use this hinging motion. So as we make the back swing, there's a slight hinge in the back of the right wrist, then a slight forward hinge in the wrist as we make the movement. But so you can see the swing's very short and very under control. So let's give it a go. So we're going to get into a nice vertical position. You will feel that heel is slightly off the surface, and like we talked about, we're just letting the hands and arms just hang from the shoulders. So this left arm in particular is nice and straight, so we're obviously gripping down the club a little bit with the shaft in that vertical position. From here it's just a slight hinge in the wrist on the way back, and then a forward hinge as we strike the ball on the way through. So an extremely simple motion, and it just gets the ball rolling up towards the flag. Like we talked about, you can use anything from a pitching wedge here through to a 5-iron, but the key principles are getting yourself into that vertical position with the shaft so it can naturally now drop onto the ball, allowing the wrist to hinge slightly on the way back, and then to forward hinge as you strike the ball. So a nice low running shot which gets the ball nicely up beside the flagstick. So very simple movement. It's not complex, even though a lot of people struggle with this part of the game. So if you want a little bit more information on how we can help with it, please come to the Academy and see the professional team here. Thank you.